So going forward, sir, how would you interpret it or summarize it in geopolitical scenarios for various economic, social, and governance issues for world at a large?
You see, it is like this. Many of the sources of tensions are related to, and when I say sources of tension, I'm saying in terms of well-off nations and developing nations, poor nations. They are related to unilateral or multilateral or unipolar and multipolar world. Nobody says that you should not have international order, you should not have liberal order. Nobody says that. But they have problems. There are civil wars, there are dictatorships, and so on. And there's poverty. The poverty is at two levels. One is within the countries, and then across the board, across the country. Right? China took out 600-700 million people out of poverty in a rather short period of time. The rest of the colonized countries, including India, and Africa is an example, parts of South America, for example, have not been able to take so many people out of poverty. And have not been able to create jobs. Because jobs which are there for the international human resources, these guys are not fit for it. Though there are shortages of labor in, let's say, European countries and USA and so on, or developed countries, they don't want too many of these people to come there.
Because they are not that skilled.
Not just that. Not just that. Maybe because they don't want to be inundated by black people.
Okay. Yeah, that is another issue.
Or Muslim people. And they've begun having these problems in Europe. Now, China, most of the Asian countries, and certainly Japan and Korea, have come out of that cycle of poverty. India is in the process of coming out of that cycle. And as it comes out, it will bloom and it will prosper. But it is quite a bit ahead in terms of the technology cycle, which the African countries are not. Right? And therefore, there are hardly any local R&D. There are age-old things about crop developments and all that are very, very good actually. Cassava they eat, other things they eat, there's low cholesterol, etc. So they're generally healthy people. But something like COVID comes, they get stuck. They don't have vaccines. Something like a drought comes, they don't have the capacity. People start dying of hunger.
Right.
So that capacity is not there. Now, these are all capacity building initiatives which were supposed to be done by the UN organizations. They drum a lot about it, but actually they don't do much, unfortunately. They actually find that the cost of the funds you take from World Bank, etc., are also quite high.
But it was at a reduced rate for these underdeveloped nations.
See, the point is this.
And there was one
point
scheme.
Is this, when the Bretton Woods started and what the situation is the last 10 years now, the basic difference is that all these multilateral institutions have become dependent on the private capital. This is not the money which the European governments or the erstwhile colonizers or USA are giving free of cost for them to on lend. Got it? They may be giving some, so that some part is there as a door opener, but the rest of it is private capital. Why would they put money in World Bank? Private capital wants its return.
Right.
So now these fellows have those guys with that kind of power. Therefore, the money is safe. Therefore, they take maybe a little less and they give it to them. So one has to look at the effective rates of interest. And secondly, if you are under the management of IMF, clutch is word I'm not using, then there will be something about macroeconomic policy, and where if India's exchange rate is 80 now, and it was 7 rupees, 6 rupees when I was studying MBA. In Pakistan, it is 285. And it was similar at my time. The rates were similar.
Because the exports are lesser.
No, that is going into great detail.
Balance of payments.
Because that is the reality of development. And what we are talking about here is the loan I took of $1 billion, for which therefore how much I would have returned, वो तो एक अरब हो गया ना, $1 अरब हो गया, तो मैं तो 80 अरब रुपया दूंगा वापस,
as per rate of interest,
और वो देंगे कितना 285 अरब, 285 अरब रुपया, धुआं निकल जाएगा. Therefore, our exchange rates are in their hand. So now they have note one thing. And one of the things which Putin has said, and one of the things which Indian people have been saying, Chinese have been saying, that we will trade in mutual currency. So he has said, I am offering you whatever you trade with us, we'll do it in mutual currency. I will not ask you dollars.
Okay, so de-dollarization going on?
Therefore, de-dollarization is a word to put a thing around it. But if you want these guys to develop, it has to be like this, no? If my trade is with you, my trade is between India and Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, why should we do it in dollars?
Yeah, so we can say status quo is breaking up now. Way back earlier also it was.
Right, now you call it status quo or you call it was a unipolar thing. 80% of the world's transactions will take place in dollars, etc., and I don't have dollars. And then I have to earn dollars. Yesterday I earned 100 rupees to give you a dollar. Now I have to earn 280 rupees to earn that dollar. And you will take dollars, right? So your interest rate may be 2%. लेकिन आपने धुआं निकाल दिया नहीं? Multiple times धुआं निकाल दिया.
Right.
So it's not that simple that, my exports are less and my exports are more, etc., etc. If it is so, let's have it mutual currency. Where is the question of less and more? Now, take that example. And, whole of this issue, oil is important. Whether it was sanctioned or not, sanctions has pushed that idea. But anyway, India and China are the largest markets for importing oil and gas, right? Today, what is that trade happening? Yesterday or last year, that trade would have happened in what? Yesterday, that trade would have happened in dollars. Today, it is happening yuan, ruble, and rupees.
Right.
That gives you the answer. That gives you the answer. It is my rupees which I am giving. Actually, it's not rupees. Basically, it is goods worth those rupees. So, we'll just take a break here and see what the implications of this are.
Okay.
In the context of the geopolitical. Not a simple thing, de-dollarization. I don't like dollars. Everybody likes dollars, right? But it is a medium of exchange. And if that medium of exchange is the device to really squeeze the people, and what it means is, therefore, Pakistan will have to give 285 Arab rupees, which means goods worth that, no? That means the grains, their rice, their clothes, and whatever should be sold to them. That's the meaning of it. No? Or their enterprises should be given away to the capitalists. IMF is very happy. World Bank is very happy on these things.
Right,
because it helps them to take capital from the people.
People, right.